Hey Lamont friends, Anding here for another one of my favorites video where you ask questions about my favorite things or just questions in general. They don't have to be about my favorite things, but this is another favorite things themed episode, and so we're going to start off by talking about my favorite creep class, which is actually the Warg. I really enjoy being on the Warg, and it's just a ton of fun. And you do a lot of damage. I think many of you know from watching Fellowship of the Creeps, I used to be a big Defiler player. I loved playing the Defiler and just played the Defiler all the time. And I enjoyed that for a long time. It eventually got a bit old, and so I like the Warg a lot better. It's kind of a nice stealth class that still does a lot of DPS. I think the Burglar still needs a lot of work, and so I actually really like the Warg as a stealth class for LOTRO. Probably my favorite of the two. And it's just a lot of fun to go around and spy on things. I have my stealth up so high on this character that I can just run past NPCs anyway, and they won't notice me at all. Which is just a lot of fun, and it's just fun to sneak up on people. My first experience in PvP was actually where I was a Reaver, and there was a raid of wargs, and by raid I really do mean raid. There were 23 wargs. It was a full raid of wargs, and then there was a Reaver. I think there might have been a war leader as well in there, but it was basically just me, this war leader, and a ton of wargs, and myself and the war leader were the bait. And it was so much fun to go around and like drag in these freeps into fights and have them just be pounced on by 22 wargs all at once is just a sight that you never forget. And so that's probably one of my favorite moments in LOTRO as a whole, was just that experience, because it's just awesome to have just this amazing amount of stealth characters around people who have no concept that they're there. Is just really entertaining to see, and their reaction when that happens is even better. And I wish I had recordings of those videos, because it was just so much fun going through that. And so at some point I do hope to return to PvP and be doing streams and things like that, hopefully not too far from now, and I think it would be a lot of fun to be doing that. Another question I got, first of all, that question was from Inuvier, so big thanks Inuvier for asking that question. I also got a question from Lilicate, who asked what my favorite bingo episode is, and that's actually a very tough question. I really enjoyed, from the early part of bingo, the learning to swim episode was just amazing. That was awesome. I enjoyed a lot of the Spalvy the dwarf episodes, and I also, for different reasons, enjoyed the saying goodbye to William Whisker episode. Was just fantastic. And so those are probably my favorite Bingo Boffin episodes. I really do enjoy Bingo Boffin as a whole. I think that it's just a great series. There were some major moments though where I was not sure if I still enjoyed Bingo, because it took a while for things to pay off. Another one of my favorite moments was, well, that's interesting. Okay. Another one of my favorite moments was probably this last week. I'm not going to spoil it, but it involved, well, I can't really say that either, but it brought ties back to The Hobbit, and I really enjoyed that. No, we're going to attack the healer. There we go. All right. Awesome. So yeah, I really do just enjoy Bingo Boffin as a whole. I think it's a great series. I wish that there were some that were better made, because some of the episodes were so slow to get to the point. and it was really frustrating. I guess they poured it out of here. Okay, fine. And so some weeks were just really, really slow. I wish that they would have been better, but in general, Bingo seems to be picking up again and has actually a purpose for a lot of the plot lines that were not as interesting. I feel like that there are still some weeks where there was just absolutely no reason for it and no excuse for it. It was just filler boringness, and I didn't enjoy it. But that was not every week. I think that there are definitely some really good ones. And you just have to be patient, I guess, with the series and enjoy it when it's good. And that's ultimately what I did. And I think Bingo is really good. Especially considering that it's a free series. It's completely free, the Bingo story. And it's, with the last few weeks, how good they've been. It's starting to live up to some of the epic story stuff where, you know, there's some parts that are just really not that interesting, but other parts are absolutely amazing. Oh, come on, we could have got him. There we go. So, as you can tell, it's a lot of fun to just pop out of stealth and chase people down and then have other wargs pop out of stealth. I had no idea the other guy was going to be there. I thought that was going to be a fairly tough fight, but it ended up being a lot of fun. So, you know, you never know what you're going to get in PvP, and that's something I really enjoy about it. I wish that the new map was utilized more by more players, because I think if it was used more, it would just be more fun to have that type of map diversity. Some of the negatives, though, is it is a smaller map than this map is, for example. So I wish that they would have done more to make people be actually using that map. That I feel like that it's not utilized, and they could do a lot to just make people use it. Actually damaging down the Guardian here, although not very effectively. Okay, time to get out of town. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Now we're free. That's another thing I like, is that you can go in, be super stealthy, and then when it's time to go, you can go because you can just sprint away. And that's a lot of fun as well, because you only have to take the fights that you need. Now, sometimes your skills are messed up and you can't do that because they're on cooldown, but it seems to be a lot of fun still. So I really enjoy the Warg. I think it's a great class, and yeah, let me know in the comments below if you have any comments or thoughts or questions or anything related to PvP or just LOTRO in general, or any game. If you have any questions about me or anything like that, feel free to ask them. I would love to answer them. The first video that I did that was fan questions seems to have had overwhelming support. Thank you all so much for that. And I plan to do more of these as long as there's more questions, so feel free to ask them below. I might not answer every question in a video. Some of them are just better to be replied to as just an answer to your question through a comment, but I will try to answer everyone's question in some form, so feel free to ask your question in the comments below, and I will see you again real soon for more content.